There is a certain type of man who exists on the edges of society, not because he has been pushed there, but because he quietly chooses that vantage point. A man who observes the world without rushing to participate in its noise. He is not withdrawn out of fear, and he is not distant out of arrogance. His distance is intentional, purposeful, and grounded in a deep understanding of himself. This man, the Sigma male, carries an energy that most people cannot easily categorize. And it is this lack of categorization that unsettles them. People understand loud men, they understand dominant men, they even understand submissive men. But the Sigma is none of these and all of them, depending on when he decides to be. He is a master of presence, not through performance, but through authenticity. His quietness is not a retreat. It is a form of strength. His self-sufficiency is not a defense mechanism. It is a lifestyle. And his lack of interest in social validation is not rebellion. It is clarity. The Sigma male is dangerous because he is internally aligned. His power does not come from dominance. It comes from detachment. He can be in the world without being owned by it. He can walk among people without absorbing their fears. And he can forge his path without relying on applause. Most men require guidance, approval, or a sense of belonging to function with confidence. But the Sigma's confidence is generated internally. Time alone does not weaken him, it strengthens him. Silence does not intimidate him, it clarifies him. Failure does not break him, it instructs him. This kind of man disrupts social expectations simply by existing outside of them. People who rely on hierarchy, control, or emotional manipulation feel exposed in his presence. They cannot predict him. They cannot influence him. They cannot contain him. And this is what makes him quietly dangerous, not in the sense of harm, but in the sense of unpredictability, independence, and an unwavering sense of self. His path is not defined by comparison. His goals are not shaped by competition. His worth is not tied to validation. When society encourages conformity, the Sigma chooses individuality. When others seek attention, he seeks depth. When the world demands noise, he responds with silence. This silence, calm, grounded, and immovable, is the first sign of a man who has mastered himself. And the further we look, the more we begin to see why the Sigma male possesses traits that are, to some, deeply intimidating. Let us explore these traits one by one. Point 1, his emotional independence. One of the most unsettling aspects of the Sigma male is his emotional independence. Most people operate with emotional dependencies. They rely on attention, approval, or connection to feel centered. But the Sigma does not look to others to stabilize his emotions. Instead, he has developed an internal foundation solid enough to withstand external turbulence. His emotional world is not a public arena open for negotiation. It is a private landscape governed only by his own values. This independence makes him immune to the common psychological tactics often used in social environments. Guilt, pressure, passive aggression, and manipulation. These strategies fail when used against a man who does not attach his self-worth to external judgment. He does not crumble under criticism. He does not inflate under praise. He remains steady, balanced, and grounded. This balance allows him to maintain clarity in situations where others lose their footing. He can respond without reacting. He can observe without absorbing. He can engage without becoming entangled. Research on emotional intelligence suggests that individuals who maintain strong boundaries and possess emotional autonomy experience less anxiety, less burnout, and higher life satisfaction. The Sigma, knowingly or not, embodies this. His emotional independence is not coldness. It is maturity. He feels deeply but responsibly. He cares, but selectively. He loves, but without losing himself. And this ability to remain whole regardless of external conditions is a rare form of masculine power. It makes those who seek control uneasy, because the Sigma male cannot be destabilized emotionally. And when a man cannot be emotionally manipulated, he becomes difficult to predict, difficult to influence, and difficult to overpower. Point 2, his observational precision. While others fill silence with noise, the Sigma fills silence with awareness. He does not rush to speak, he listens. He does not seek to be seen, he watches. This observational precision allows him to gather information that most people overlook. Tone shifts, micro-expressions, body language patterns, inconsistencies. He sees them all without effort. His mind works like a slow, deliberate camera, capturing details that others miss because they are too busy performing socially to observe clearly. This trait can be deeply unsettling. People are used to being half understood, not fully seen. People expect their subtle manipulations, their hidden motives, and their emotional disguises to blend into the social fabric. But the Sigma's attention cuts through these layers. And what makes him dangerous is not that he exposes people. It is that he understands them quietly. He collects patterns. He analyzes behavior. He forms conclusions without announcing them. Psychological studies highlight that individuals with high observational skills often have strong situational awareness, which gives them an advantage in predicting human behavior. The Sigma male naturally uses this to navigate social situations without needing guidance. He is not suspicious. He is aware. He is not paranoid. He is perceptive, and this perception disarms those who rely on deception or confusion to maintain control. They sense that he sees more than he reveals, and this awareness creates a quiet psychological pressure around him. You cannot manipulate someone who sees the structure of your intentions. You cannot deceive someone who recognizes your patterns. And you cannot dominate someone who understands you more clearly than you understand yourself. Point 3, his ability to walk away without fear. In a world where people cling to relationships, to groups, to comfort, to identity, the Sigma male's ability to walk away is profoundly unsettling. Most individuals tolerate emotional discomfort, disrespect, or unfulfilling environments out of fear of being alone or losing security. But the Sigma male does not operate from scarcity. He does not stay in situations that drain him. He does not negotiate with toxicity. He does not compromise his values for temporary belonging. If a situation threatens his peace or integrity, he leaves, quietly, calmly, completely. This ability is not rooted in coldness, it is rooted in self-respect. When a man does not fear solitude, he cannot be coerced. When he does not rely on external validation, he cannot be manipulated. When he does not require a group to feel whole, he cannot be socially cornered. And this independence becomes a mirror that exposes the dependency of others. People who rely on emotional control suddenly find their influence dissolving. They realize the Sigma cannot be guilt-tripped, shamed, or pressured back into conformity. This is what makes his detachment terrifying to those who depend on attachment to maintain control. They feel powerless when the Sigma does not react, does not chase, and does not cling. His walking away is not an exit. It is a declaration of boundaries, a statement that says, "Now, my peace is worth more than your approval." In psychology, individuals who are able to disengage from unhealthy environments demonstrate higher resilience, stronger emotional regulation, and deeper decision-making clarity. The Sigma intuitively aligns with these principles. His willingness to leave situations that others tolerate shows a profound understanding of self-preservation. And when a man cannot be held by fear, he becomes difficult to contain, influence, or pressure. This is a form of masculine freedom most people are not accustomed to, and it is precisely why the Sigma's detachment feels so dangerous to those who benefit from attachment. Point 4, his deep self-discipline. The Sigma male does not announce his progress. He does not document his growth publicly, nor does he look for applause. His discipline is internal, consistent, and quiet. While others seek motivation, the Sigma builds habits. While others wait for inspiration, he takes small, steady steps. While others seek accountability partners, he becomes accountable to himself. This deep self-discipline is one of the most powerful traits a man can possess, and it is one of the most misunderstood. People often mistake the Sigma's quiet routine for laziness or passivity. They assume silence means inactivity, when in truth, silence often means transformation. Behind the scenes, he is sharpening his mind, strengthening his body, developing his skills, and expanding his knowledge. He is always improving, even if no one is watching, even if no one ever praises him for it. He understands something most people never discover. Real growth happens in private, not in performance. Psychology calls this intrinsic motivation, the drive to act for personal meaning rather than external reward. Research shows that people who cultivate inner direction rather than seeking validation achieve deeper mastery and more lasting results. The Sigma embodies this principle effortlessly. His improvement is not performative. It is personal. He's not trying to impress. He's trying to evolve. And because his evolution is rooted in intention rather than applause, it becomes sustainable. Day after day, his small, disciplined actions create a quiet, powerful momentum that builds beneath the surface. This momentum becomes a kind of masculine gravity, subtle at first, then undeniable. Others may not see the work, but they eventually feel the results. They sense his confidence, his steadiness, and the clarity in his decisions. They recognize that he moves differently, not out of arrogance, but out of alignment with his inner world. This unsettles people because they cannot track his growth, cannot predict his moves, and cannot compete with a man who is fueled from within. A Sigma who works silently is dangerous in the most grounded, stable way. His progress is not loud, but it is inevitable. His discipline makes him resilient, adaptable, and capable of handling pressure with a calm strength that cannot be faked. The Sigma does not announce his steps. He simply takes them. And by the time the world notices, he has already become the man they never saw coming. Point 5, his resistance to social hierarchies. Most people unconsciously accept social hierarchies. The need to fit in, to be ranked, to find a place within a group, and to earn belonging. But the Sigma male moves differently. He does not participate in these structures because he does not derive his identity from them. He does not see himself above or below anyone. He simply steps outside the ladder altogether. And this quiet refusal to play the game is exactly what unsettles people. Society expects men to behave in predictable ways, to compete for dominance, to chase approval, or to submit to authority when instructed. But the Sigma does neither. He follows a path based on inner alignment rather than external validation. This independence removes society's primary tool of control, comparison. Most people are guided, often unconsciously, by constant measurement. How successful am I compared to him? Am I attractive enough, wealthy enough, and respected enough? The Sigma rejects this entire framework. He does not compare his success to others because he views success as an internal metric. He does not adopt social labels to shape his identity because he knows labels limit more than they define. He does not follow trends, expectations, or unspoken cultural rules unless they naturally align with his own principles. This level of internal authority is rare, and rarity is unsettling. It makes him unpredictable in a world built on predictable roles. When a man cannot be categorized, he becomes difficult to control. When he cannot be socially motivated, he becomes difficult to recruit into group agendas. When he cannot be measured by external standards, he becomes nearly impossible to manipulate. Psychology recognizes that individuals with low social conformity tend to have stronger critical thinking skills, higher self-direction, and a more stable sense of autonomy. The Sigma embodies this principle vividly. He respects others deeply, but he does not depend on them to define him. His masculinity is rooted in self-knowledge, not social comparison. And because he has stepped off the social ladder entirely, he threatens those who depend on the ladder for their own sense of importance. People who rely on hierarchy need others to play along in order to maintain power. So when the Sigma quietly refuses to engage, the structure trembles. His mere presence disrupts the system, not because he rebels loudly, but because he stands apart so completely. In that stillness, he reveals the truth. Real power is internal and cannot be granted or taken away by society. Point 6, his calm under pressure. Perhaps the most quietly dangerous trait of the Sigma male is his calmness under pressure. While others panic, he breathes. While others react impulsively, he analyzes. While others are overwhelmed by emotion, he finds stillness. His calmness is not the result of emotional suppression. It is the product of emotional mastery. He understands that panic solves nothing. He understands that clarity is only possible in a grounded state. And he understands that pressure reveals a man's true nature. This calm is not an accident of personality. It is a cultivated discipline, a psychological resilience formed through solitude, introspection, and countless private battles no one ever sees. He has learned over time that emotions are signals, not commands. Because of this, he does not allow fear, anger, or urgency to hijack his thinking. His mind stays spacious, even when the world around him feels tight. Psychological studies show that individuals who maintain calmness in high-stress situations are more effective decision makers and display stronger leadership qualities. The Sigma naturally aligns with this profile, not because he seeks leadership, but because inner steadiness naturally places him in a position of influence. People instinctively look toward the one who is not shaken. His calm becomes a stabilizing force, not only for himself, but for those around him. People sense this grounding energy, and it shifts the atmosphere. His presence becomes a form of quiet authority, a type of masculine strength that does not need to announce itself. He does not raise his voice, he does not posture. He simply remains centered, and that centeredness becomes its own kind of dominance. Those who rely on chaos, emotional volatility, or intimidation find themselves disarmed by his steady demeanor. You cannot intimidate a man who does not fear the situation. You cannot pressure a man who does not crumble. You cannot dominate a man who remains composed when everything else loses balance. This composure disrupts the power dynamics others try to impose because it exposes their instability. It forces them to confront the truth. Control belongs to the one who controls himself. This level of internal stillness is powerful, rare, and deeply unsettling for those who have never cultivated it. It is not aggression that makes the Sigma dangerous. It is peace. A peace that is earned, not gifted. A peace that is rooted, not shaken. A peace that cannot be stolen or manipulated. A peace that remains intact even in the presence of conflict. And in a chaotic world, the man who stays calm becomes the man everyone secretly fears and quietly respects. At the end of the day, the Sigma male is not dangerous because he seeks power over others, but because he has achieved power over himself. His strength is not loud and his confidence is not performative. His danger is not a threat. It is a presence shaped by discipline, clarity, independence, and a calm mind that does not bend under pressure. These traits are rare in a world that encourages impulsiveness, emotional dependence, and constant performance. And because they are rare, people respond to them with uncertainty, curiosity, or even fear. But the truth is simple. A Sigma male is only dangerous to those who build their influence on instability, manipulation, or control. To the man who seeks growth, inner peace, and authenticity, the Sigma is not a threat. He is a blueprint, a reminder that strength without noise is still strength. That solitude without loneliness is still fullness, and that masculinity without aggression is still power. If you resonate with these traits, even in small ways, remember this: you are not meant to fit into the world's expectations. You are meant to rise quietly above them. Keep refining yourself. Keep choosing depth over attention, calm over chaos, and purpose over performance. And above all, remain rooted in your own inner landscape, because that is where real, unshakable power begins. Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay grounded, stay disciplined, and stay true to the man you are becoming.